What's up, Toy fans? Kyle here, and today we're going to be taking a look at another Shinkenger mech. This time we're looking at the Gattai Series 02 Kajiki or Kajiki or whatever you want to say it, Origami. Which of course later came to America and became the Swordfish Zord, because that's an interesting name, right? So here it is in its swordfish mode. It looks a lot like a swordfish, naturally. It is not necessarily blue, it's kind of a teal color, and it's operated by the blue Shinkenger Ranger every now and then. When it is summoned, of course, using the Swordfish Hidden Disc. And now, I actually found my handy-dandy Shinkenmaru. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to show you this little animation that we do. So using the Shinkenmaru, you can just... We're going to have to look at this kind of sideways. You can see it has a little bit of an animation like it's jumping in circles. That is awesome. I actually really like this gimmick. And since I didn't have my handy-dandy Shinkenmaru readily available when I did my Kabuto Origami review, here we're just going to take a look at that animation as well. Pretty cool. I like it. Alright, back to the swordfish. So we can see it's molded primarily in white plastic. A lot of this blue, or this kind of teal color that you see is all painted on, which is kind of a nice touch. The more paint, the better. You'll notice if you look closely, you can see very, very subtle hints of this orange plastic right here. And that's kind of to throw back to this, the Kabuto Origami, because when they all sort of form into the Daitenku, there is that orange motif kind of seen throughout. But it's also got this little bit of added gold back here and up here for the Shinkenger logo. And again, much like Kabuto Origami, you can lock that down and then it'll lock the gimmick, essentially, when you spin the hidden disc in place. But when you lift that up, you can spin this hidden disc, and what this does is so amazing, you're not going to believe your eyes. We're going to spin the hidden disc, and its mouth is just going to bobble up and down. That's pretty much it. There's another feature in this origami mode, which are the Marlin missiles, and they went right here. You'll see the two little buttons down here. When I bought my lot of Shinkenger toys, those were the only two things that were missing, and he might have had them, he just didn't know what they were, and I've never actually talked to him since, the person that I bought them. But I kind of don't need them, since this is all going to be in Samurai Hollow mode at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. Again, I like the silver paint. It's got some great silver paint, Bondi silver right up down there and right up there. My biggest complaint, which is a complaint I had with the Kabuto Origami, is that they're not really origamis. They don't transform into anything. They're just sort of naturally in their animal state to begin with, and that's all they really do. So I don't quite like calling these origamis, since they're not. That's really my only gripe. Again, it's essentially a brick. It's on wheels. It rolls. That's all you're going to get out of this for like 30 bucks, which I think was the retail cost. But what you can do with this as well is you can combine this with Shinkeno and form the Kajiki Shinkeno. Now, to get Kajiki Origami into Kajiki Shinkeno, what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart just a little bit, essentially by removing the head. And what I like to do, again, you don't have to do this, is I like to swap the hidden disc with the standard hidden disc, and I'll show you why a little later. Then we're going to get Shinkeno, we're going to remove his helmet, and we're going to lift our camera up, just like that. We are going to turn him around, and we are going to store basically the main body of the Kajiki right back there. There's a little clip right there, it just fits into that backpack clip. And this little wheel right here will sort of hold Shinkeno basically together. It's just a bit of support. Not too much support, but when you start getting that extra weight, it does hold it in place a little bit. Then we're going to turn it around. We are going to flip these wings open. Now, if I had the two missiles, you would see two missiles kind of sticking out above his head. Unfortunately, I don't. Maybe I'll get them one day. We'll see. It depends on how much I care. Then we're going to get the head. And the head is going to sit upright like this, like a hat. And we're going to flip up these two little thingy-dingy-wingies right there. And that's just going to essentially attach onto the top of his head using this port right there. It's not going to actually attach to Shinkeno at all in that regard. So we're just going to plop that on top. Then we are going to get the hidden disc. Stick that right there. This is not something that you have to do. I don't even think they do it in the show, but it's something I like to do for display purposes. Just going to have them hold it up like that. And there is Kajiki Shinkeno. It's definitely interesting looking. I like that it utilizes Shinkeno's real head, so you don't need that fake head, just like Kabuto. The backpack is a bit much, but it's kind of come to be expected with these brick swords. One final attack that you can do that's a little bit special is you can unlock this logo. You can open up his mouth, completely open just like that, and you can stick his sword in his mouth. And this is something that they do in the show. So it can just kind of slice like that. It is for the, what is it called? The Kajiki final... It's like Kajiki final blow, final attack, something along those lines, where he's actually just like slicing his head in his mouth. And if you wanted to lock it in place, you can definitely do that as well. And he just now has a giant, funny-looking hat. So that's something interesting that you can do. That is very unique to Kajiki. Apart from that, that does it for this video looking at Kajiki. You know, it's for $30, it is still a lot for just a standalone toy. I still feel like at this point you're only buying them because you want to combine them into Daitenku, which later forms the backpack, of course, Samurai How, and that's sort of at the end of the day, that's sort of what everyone wants. Anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to stay tuned for more Shinkeno video reviews. I am going to get all the way up to Samurai How, and that video is going to be painful, and it is going to be glorious. So, stick with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.